Outlaw Nation doesn't usually watch live because I've never done it. Let's see, last time I did it was 5 months ago.
I mean, if you've never done a live, they probably just aren't. They probably don't have an expectation. You know what I mean? For it, like my channel, sometimes I've done a live and had 50 dudes. Other times, randomly, I think we were with Magic Prepper, and it was a huge turnout. And you and I used to do the NUKE Parks with Risky Krisky and Gun Thoughts, here and there, and those were a lot of those were pre-recorded though, but the ones that we did live were super interesting. You know, as far as turnout. So.
I still hear from old Risky Krisky. Dude's doing good, saving out there, saving lives. Proud of him.
Well, I got some news that you don't know about yet that you're going to be pretty stoked on. I'll wait for the hype to build here. For anyone watching it in the future, they're going to be they're going to be pumped when they hear about it.
What about our dude Risky Krisky?
Yeah, or as far as how many they ordered,
Oh, hundreds right now.
right?
Hundreds. Yeah, we'll see. Everybody's got to test them, and um, but with the problems with DJI, we've been able to skirt around those problems. So I haven't actually announced that to anybody. So if you caught the live, then I guess that that we got that contract, which is freaking
Well,
cool. Like,
this video will be posted. So what I do for my lives, and if you, I guess if you maintain the same model for yours, is you can just release it as a regular video and just be on your channel for people to watch. So once this ends, it'll upload to your audience, so they'll be able to click on this at any time, and they can treat it like a podcast. Like I guarantee you, right now I'm talking to somebody both right now, present time, and in the future, somebody that's watching or listening to us talk and have good conversation about the current status of gun community and everything we're going to talk about in politics and stuff like that tonight. Someone right now in the future is going to comment and say, "Thank you for keeping this up." So yeah, dude, I highly recommend you just keep it up as like an upload. And if you don't know, maybe your editor will know just how to keep it, maintain it as a video. You can keep whatever monetization stuff too, but it's cool for the guys to be able to look back or just use it as a podcast. Like I don't know how many guys in chat use their favorite YouTubers or whatever, and they're not able to watch it, but they're driving to work or whatever, or going to and from the gym or whatever they got going on, and they just put it on the background. Like I don't know who would want to listen to me, but you get what I'm saying.
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'll leave it up. I don't mind. I think it's great. I think it's good to get to visit with my old buddy Trinchy.
Yeah, man.
Fellas, Jeremy, what's up, bro? Jim, what's up, guys? Sean finished eighth overall. Sean's a heck of a shooter, man. He's in your side of the world. You should get down there and shoot with him a little bit, Sean. Trinchy can't go anywhere because he's like dying with the army too. How many more years you got, bro?
I'm on the fence right now. If the YouTube thing continues to be a thing, I might get out. You know what I'm saying? So if you're watching this and you have not heard of my channel, hey, go check out the Trench Grenade channel, right? But yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about whether I'm going to stay in or get out. I'll be around the 12. I'll be around the 15-year mark whenever I have to make that decision. So obviously, I could coast for another 5 years, but it all comes down to what your soul is worth and how much time you're willing to invest in something, right? So,
Dude, I would go the 15. You've already been there 15 years. Go 20. Get your retirement. Get your medical. Like I can tell you now, at my age, I wish I had medical, and I don't. Get your medical.
right. I
Get
mean,
your medical.
I can tell you right now, if I were to get out today, I could be able to claim a ton of stuff. Just from my career already, I could probably get 100% right now, just as it is. You know, but we'll see. But yeah, so what do you want to tackle first? I mean, for the guys joining in the future, like Outlaw said, kind of in the opening, this is going to be, potentially a series. So I guess I'll just spill the beans a little bit on something Outlaw doesn't know. So I got off the phone with Risky Krisky, and a lot of Risky Krisky fans are probably going to be in the chat right now or in the future. And Risky Krisky basically is down to do a weekly or bi-weekly show, whether it be with me or Outlaw or however it ends up, whoever's available, and kind of bring back the NUKE Parks vibe. The NUKE Parks originally was created by three dudes who I don't know. I'm trying to remember how Outlaw and I met. I think Outlaw and I met through the comment section, basically, where he's friends with James Yeager. I was a huge James Yeager supporter. Risky Krisky and I met. I don't even know. I hit him up, I think on Instagram or something. But hey, I'm in your area if you want to link up for some content creation. And that's kind of how we all. I think one day I created a group chat for the three of us through text base, and now we're all homies. So in the future, going forward, if you're a New Car Parks fan and you're joining in now or in the future, I would expect and have excitement for a New Car Parks either weekly or biweekly show, whether it's just two of us or even if it's just one of us reading the news or however we want to do it. But I'm down to do it, and I know Outlaw. I'm sure you'd be okay with doing it every now and then, right? You know,
Yeah, I'll do it as much as my schedule can
right?
take. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The army now, and I'm not in the army, but the army is sucking the life out of both of us right now. So, um, let's kick this off right now with the election, Trench. So, the
Okay.
first question I have for you, and we'll do it in New Car Park style. Uh, Not who do you want to win, but who do you think is going to win the election?
I feel the world. I say the world, but I feel like the world is shifting towards Trump. I feel like even the woke left mob even I hear people that are on the left are like, dude, she is like just saying she's saying all the wrong things at all the wrong times. And I cannot foresee anybody that is just a normal dude, you know, a normal person in our society being like, yeah, I think Kamala is the move, like for whatever reason that you want to choose. But for the biggest reason, the President Biden disappeared for 2 weeks, right? And out of nowhere, he's not running for president, and out of nowhere, she's just the nominee. So that's not a conspiracy. That's literally what happened. One day we were all talking whatever you were saying about Biden. I can't say too much exactly because I'm still active duty, so I'll just leave it at that. But everyone was saying whatever they were going to say about President Biden, and then literally the next day, President Biden is all of a sudden he's sick or whatever, and now Kamala Harris is the nominee. So I think that says a lot about your political party if you're willing to just not give your constituents the opportunity to decide. So that's a big thing. And I honestly, from what I see, because Trump has proven that he's more of a normal dude. He's more of a normal dude. He's more relatable. He's more of an American in a lot of people's eyes. So for his ability to be able to go and do a 3 hour one take, like I don't think Kamala Harris could survive a Nukar Parks podcast. 'Cause I think we would it's like when all the dogs see the weak dog, what do? They mess with the weaker dog, right? I don't think she could survive a regular podcast with regular people, to be quite frank. And I think that's what Americans want. Americans want a normal person, and obviously they want them to have the correct political beliefs based on whatever they believe, whether that be gun rights, and I guess Trump has done some dumb things for the Second Amendment, but I don't foresee that happening again. Whereas Kamala outright doesn't want assault weapons or anything, right? So I think legitimately, I voted for Trump because I have a military absentee ballot, so I voted for Trump with my absentee ballot, obviously. So I'm a Trump supporter, but also I just can't. I can't. Even if I was to have a one-on-one with a Kamala supporter, I'd be like, why? And the only things I ever hear is first female president, first first black president or black female president. They just add that on top of it. You know what I mean? Even though she changes her accent based on what I don't know if you've heard that, but she like will change her accent based on what audience she's talking to, or lie about what background she's from. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. I hope I hope that it's a peaceful transition. I hope it's Trump, but if it's Kamala, I'm worried because um,
Wait, wait,
Republicans.
wait, wait, wait. Let's get into that one in a minute.
Okay, go, go, go,
All
go.
right, so I kind of think that I think one of the reasons that you're seeing this major push that Trump is a normal guy, and for the first time I'm watching these poll reports where some of them are coming back Trump, which it doesn't normally do that. It hasn't done that in the last two elections. I think that what the left is trying to do is they're trying to make it where we feel like our state is going to vote so we don't have to get out and vote.
Oh,
So my first thing is um, Donald Trump is if he's who you are voting for, um, then you need to get out and vote because he has not won this. Um, I it would not surprise me. So I knew Trump from two of his sons before the election ever happened. Um, Let me say that. I knew that he was going to run. I don't know Donald Trump. I've never met him. I've met his kids, and so we knew that he was going to run. And I remember when he told Rush Limbaugh, like, "Do you think I should run?" And he said, "I'm doing this for my grandkids." And so I don't really think it was a selfish thing for him. And I remember saying, I said, if the United States still has a choice, Trump will win in a landslide. If the United States doesn't have a choice, then Trump will barely lose. And then I think the COVID portion of this caused whatever it is, was the election, was it fair or was it not? I don't know. I've heard both sides, arguments on both sides that were well, so I don't know. What I do know now is we're back to if Americans have a choice, I believe that Donald Trump will be elected. If Americans don't have a choice, I believe Kamala will just barely beat him. Now, here's the next question I have for you. Let's say let's start with Kamala. I don't know how to say it. If she wins, what do you think happens?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, well, it depends. Is it a controversial win where we feel like, where the people feel like it was taken, similar to the previous election? Because if it's something like that, I don't think that the right is going to put up with that again. Typically, the right, historically speaking, is not as violent and doesn't do things. They won't go out and protest. They won't go out and mobilize, right? But I think if I was a betting man, based on what we've seen, based on the rhetoric on both sides, if Trump loses, based on the polls right now, which put him significantly in the lead, I don't think it's going to be a smooth transition. Now, there are speculations where there's going to be two presidents inaugurated on January 6th, right? It'll be one in Austin, Texas, and one in Washington D.C. One will be Trump in Texas, and one will be Kamala in Washington, and then that'll be the beginning of a potential civil war, right? Obviously, that's a worst case scenario, but that's a lot of speculation right now. Is there could potentially be two inaugurations. Another less dramatic situation is that the right says, "Hey, we're not going to put up with another stolen election," and then when the election day comes, they just simply go. They go to the internet, they complain for a couple of weeks, and then guess what? Nothing ever happens. That's another realistic possibility. Um, and so I think the best case scenario is that the right wins, obviously. But if the right were to lose, and Trump was not to be elected, based on polls and everything we know right now, it would be, and all the ballots being burned that we've seen, it's going to raise some severe alarms for the average American of like, so there were a ton of ballots burned in left-leaning cities, which means they were probably Trump supporters, which is what people think already going to think. People being threatened not to vote, poll stations being closed, etc. I think the safer option would be the left wins, because if the left loses, the left will mobilize and the left will
Wait,
go.
wait, 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 wait.
Oh,
Let's get into that one next.
all
All right,
right.
here's my take. This is not going to be popular. Mr. G. Smith, you definitely should move to Texas. I think if Kamala, I really don't. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say her name.
I think it's Kamala, unless something
Is it
changed.
Kamala? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think anything happens because I think that if you literally look at Americans now and um, you go to the founding fathers, and I know we've talked about this on other Nuke Park episodes, but the founding fathers said that they gave up their wealth, they gave up their real estate, they gave up their families, and they gave up their lives. So we all, conservative. I think we're mostly moderate, but our moderate right leaning believes we will give up our lives. That's something that will happen. We will give up our families because we still send our children to the military. I'm going to send one to the military. We won't give up our stuff. We won't give up our money. We won't give up our job. We won't give up our real estate. So because of that, I don't have any moderators to moderate this. I don't even know how to make moderators. I
Oh,
got to
it's
make.
easy. You just click on their. If you don't want that person to post, just click on their name and hit put in timeout or block
Oh,
them.
I don't care. I'm not going to do
Okay.
it. Put whatever you want in here, guys. I don't care. So anyway, I don't think anything's going to happen. I think you haven't pushed the right side of the party enough to actually do anything. So I don't think they'll do anything except for bitch and moan about it. Now, my take: if Donald Trump is elected, I don't think it will be a civil war. I don't think that because um, right now, America's very soft, and Americans were not made to see war. Um, and I say that like as a general public. Al Jazeera and all of the embedded media in all of the global war on terrorism was horrible because America got just too, oh, we can't do this, we can't hurt anybody's feelings, and it kind of turned us way too soft. Um, we don't really want to see war, especially we don't, Americans don't really know what war is, and because of that, they if they see it just a little, I don't even know if that they can handle it. I think there's not enough what is the antidepressant drugs to go around for them. So I don't think that I think if Trump is elected, we will see um, the riots of like the Chaz and the whatever they were doing back then, and the we will see riots where they're blocking off cities, they're burning big cities. I think we will see that for 30 to 45 days. You have to realize also we're getting into the winter time. So they started in November. In December, it starts getting cold. They're going to stop. And then I think they're done with that. And then it goes back to Trump just trying not to get impeached. Um, and then I think Trump, and we'll talk a little bit about theories on a coming conflict here in just a second. But um, I think Trump will further isolate America as the world police. And let me stop there. And what do you think happens with Trump being elected?
I've learned to never underestimate the enemy, and right now the enemy is the left's rhetoric. We've seen what they've done in the past as far as mobilization. So I am more worried about. I want Trump to win, but I'm more worried about when Trump does win, because we've all seen, history doesn't lie. What they're willing to do, right? Just look at. Let's talk about the George Floyd riots, right? A criminal who was killed, who was overdosed on fentanyl. If you don't like that opinion, it's not an opinion. That's a toxicology report. Okay, that that thing started a bunch of riots, right? So the left is willing to mobilize because if they feel like it's a good cause and they're being literally told every day that Trump is Hitler, which is literally what they're being told by Kamala Harris and by the left, or that's what the left is being told by Kamala, is that Trump is a fascist and Trump is Hitler. Well, if you're being told by your leadership that Trump is literally Hitler, then you're not just gonna take it and roll over, right? So I think it's gonna be way worse than what you're saying. I would anticipate violence at a larger scale than what we've seen. I'm not saying it's not going to be for the better to be for Trump to win. I do believe that the country will be far more successful both with foreign policy and domestically. We won't be sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, right? Every couple weeks, we won't be having a homeless population that is out of control. We won't be having a border that is open, etc. Right? Your constitutional rights won't be being attacked. Your First Amendment right won't be under attack like it is right now by a lot of these social media companies that are in bed with the left saying that we need to monitor your speech, right? So definitely, I think it's better if Trump wins, but I think it's going to be a lot more violence because the left has guns, they just don't know how to use them.
Well, that's okay. I actually, one of my guys showed me a bunch of Instagram sites of socialists learning how to be a gunfighter. I can tell you guys, and I think Trench can probably tell you too. Um, while you may not respect a leftist gunfighter, let's say, um, 40 hours of dry practice, just dry practice, they're going to be pretty deadly. And they're a lot more motivated by, it seems like conservatives are very open and um, they work with facts. We work with facts. Like, give me the facts and let me make a decision. Where the other side is very much, let's go off emotion. And when you go off emotion, that's that's a tough one. That's a dangerous one. Um,
Oh yeah,
so, practical rifleman, what's up, bro? So, Trench, here's my next thing. I don't even know if you can talk about this. Can you talk about conflicts right now and what conflicts might look like? Can you speculate?
I mean, I can speculate. Anything I say does not represent the Department of Defense, nor does it represent the Department of the Army. Okay, the United States Army. Um, with that being said, I mean, uh, I think if Trump wins, the things that are going on in Eastern Europe will come to a halt, both because of negotiations and giving both sides a compromise out. Right? He is a he is the yes answer to both sides. Zelensky still wants money, so but he doesn't want to be invaded, so make a deal there. And Putin doesn't want to lose a war to NATO as a proxy war. So he's the way I see it is Trump is the only way really the easy button out for Putin, even though Zelensky's getting paid to fly back and forth to Washington D.C. every few months, in a funny outfit. But yeah, I think the Ukraine thing is going to come to an end if Trump wins. But I think what is not going to come to an end, and what's going to could potentially be the downfall of the United States, is China. China is a serious problem. Everyone is sleeping on China right now, dude. Like, China is catching up and they're surpassing us in a lot of areas. Us being the United States. So if the United States doesn't wake up, unify, and get our head back on, both domestically and with foreign affairs, then things are going to look real bad here soon. I mean, their technology is developing fast. They're already cloning all of our optics. They're cloning our helmet technology. They're trying to get better body armor as far as their actual like fighters and naval equipment. It's catching up quick, guys. So um, you know, China's a serious problem, is what I see. Regardless of who wins, if Kamala wins, Taiwan's gone. Period. If Kamala wins, Taiwan is going to be taken because they are going to expect us not to do anything. If Trump wins, then Taiwan might have a chance.
So here's my thoughts, and I'm stealing these thoughts from some friends that were with me during the hurricane cleanup, and we kind of come up with this theory together. So I'm not taking all the credit for it, and this is only a theory. I don't know. I don't have some super secret squirrel that's giving me, like you hear these guys that their uncle called. None of that. No uncles have called me. This is just my theory. Um, America has been for the last 50-ish years the world's police. And I know that it's not a popular thing anymore that we're
I
the
mean,
world's
not
police.
successfully. I
Not
mean, look at
successfully, but
Korea, look at Vietnam, look at Iraq,
right, but
Afghanistan.
we're still the world's police. However successful it is, right? So we are in World War I and World War II, we were isolated and we didn't want to be a part of it. And so what we're doing now as America is we're re-isolating ourselves. Now, um, this is one that I'm going to give to the the current administration, is that their war plan on Ukraine was actually brilliant. So what we see as conservatives, because they made this a right versus left thing, and it's not. Here's what I think, but not what I think. This is what's happening. This part I know is happening. So the 170 whatever $billion that we gave to the Ukrainians, we don't actually just give that cash to company. There's our countries, there's FMS, foreign military sales. So that money goes into a pot and then they have to buy from American companies. So what they did was they said, okay, all of you other countries, all NATO countries, you give all of your Soviet era equipment to the Ukrainians, get it up and running, make sure it's good, give it to the Ukrainians. We're going to replace your stuff with NATO equipment. And I have personally seen this in action. Now, they have given some funds. They have given some of the stuff, like they sent a bunch of tanks over. They got a few. The other countries got a lot more tanks. Okay. Um, I know a bunch of 109 Limas didn't go to Ukraine. They were supposed to. They went somewhere else. Okay. So the we rearmed NATO with our stuff, with our equipment. It also put us in a bad way when it come to artillery, which kind of sucks. But here's what I think is going to happen. I think Israel is about to hit Iran. And when Israel hits Iran, regardless of who the president is, we're going to throw all of our support to Israel and we're going to have another Iranian conflict. It will be another Middle Eastern conflict. When we do, we're going to further pull our troops back and we're going to stop the aid to Ukraine. Russia is then going to push all the way to probably Germany, and when they push to Germany, that's about where they're going to get held off. And we're going to leave the Europeans to fight Russia on their own. We're going to leave the Israelis to fight the Middle East on its own. And then Taiwan is going to be taken along with Japan by China. India is going to push up and fight China. China's going to fight us in the ocean. And I think we're going to overall lose that war for 2 to 5 years before Americans can come back around and make a push that we can actually win World War III. That is my theory, um, that I've put together with several people that were way smarter than me, but I think that that is a solid theory. And we are doing what we did in World War II. We're the isolationists until we have to do it. I think that's what I think. What do you think? What pick me apart?
Okay, well, the biggest threat that you mentioned there was the China threat. I can't say a lot. Okay, so I'm active duty. Like I said again, I'll give the disclaimer. Nothing I say today or ever on my YouTube channel directly represents my employer. Okay, the United States Army or the Department of Defense. With that being said, I would not worry about Russia. That's what I'm going to say about that. Okay. I would not worry about Russia. If the United States and NATO and our NATO allies were to become directly engaged with Russia, I would not be scared or worried about that conflict in a standalone battle by itself, or a war by itself, right? So don't worry about that part. Don't worry about Iran either. If Russia's not a big deal, Iran's not either. Not saying we could conquer Russia. That's not the goal, right? I'm saying to defeat Russia in a one-on-one, conflict. Would not worry about Russia, and I would not worry about Iran. Iran has outdated equipment. Iran has never been good. They just have a lot of moderate to trash items, and they have a lot of people. That's the deal there. Same with Russia, but Russia, we have the highest kill death ratio of any war ever. We have lost 0 people, and we being the United States is killing a ton of Russians as we speak, right, with our money. So keep that in mind. Ukrainians using our stuff are killing a ton of Russians, and we've lost 0 people.
Sure, proxy war,
No,
proxy
yeah,
war.
nobody else has ever done that, right? To the success of the United States is. However, we're distracted. Israel is a problem because our interests do not align with Israel's anymore. Okay, our interests are not in line with Israel's interests, and our interests should be preparing a physical blockade, okay, on all of our coasts from China, as well as actually improving our trade with other countries to prepare us for the inevitable war with China. China's been around a lot longer than pretty much any nation in the world has been around for a reason. They're playing the long game. The United States is playing the 4 to 8 year game, where every 4 to 8 years we get a new person in power. They don't care about that. They're looking at 12 to 20 years. That is where we're losing. We're losing the long term battle. I wouldn't be worried about Iran or Russia at all. Okay. Um, yeah, Russia is just not, I can't say too much, but you can look at the news and see how many T-80s have been destroyed by some dumb Ukrainian running around with a javelin. Let's put it
No,
like
listen, I totally agree. Russia's not the power that Russia was supposed to be, which is why I think in my theory, we would leave the Europeans to fighting them. Um,
Right.
so
Well,
I was laughing at some of the comments. Immortal EOTech. Did people forget that the U.S. had the best military? No, nobody's forgot that. We absolutely have the best military. We don't
we
have
have the best. We have the highest defense budget. I mean,
we but we don't have unlimited products. We don't have unlimited missiles. We don't have unlimited ammo. We don't have unlimited people. And now we have a group of people that the Gen Z generation is just like they just don't even believe in the country or serving the country at all, right?
you'd
So
be surprised. Don't
I don't know, dude. That you know that the Army's having the hardest time recruiting right now. So while
not
I
anymore.
know not anymore, what happened? What'd you guys do? Did you get up there and do like be all you could be again?
A little thing called COVID happened, and then a bunch of people didn't want to join the army anymore because it looked like we were woke, soft, and weak. Same thing with every branch, right? Well, again, can't comment too much, but let's just say 160 person, what should be a 220 basic combat training class, 220 people went to like 140 to 160 for like what you're talking about, the time you're talking about, right? Now we have an overflow issue. We are 270, 280 per class. And
Well,
that's
that's good.
happening 5 classes in a battalion. So 280 times 5 again times 2 times 5. If you calculate that up, right? Someone do the math. Rough numbers. 280.
So hey,
Who
wait.
has
So I want
Yeah,
to.
so there are
What was it?
tens of thousands of there are
15,000,
so do the math. Here we
52,000,
go.
52,000.
Yeah, 250 or 260 ish times 5 times 5 again times 2 times 5.
No
That
one wants to
number,
do math right now, Trent.
that number is how many trainees roughly are being trained as we speak.
Hey, listen. I find I have not had that conversation with you, so I didn't know that. So I absolutely find that refreshing.
Anyone watching this right now or in the future that thinks the United States Army is
65K.
Yeah. Anyone watching this video that thinks the United States Army isn't absolutely beating its people into the ground with training and with the every infantryman, like I said, can't say too much. Every infantryman is going to be carrying a six spear that's got a 13-inch barrel and quad nods and a thermal here very soon, if they aren't already. We have the most lethal fighting force in the world. Anyone that's in the comments that's like, this guy sounds like a U.S. Army commercial. No, don't care what you do with your life. What I'm telling you is you can sleep at night knowing there's a bunch of dudes that want to get paid to jump out of planes, do PT in the cold, in the heat, in the early morning. And I'm telling you, I've seen it because I've done it because I'm a drill sergeant and now a drill sergeant leader, which means I take drill sergeant candidates through a simulated basic training for 9 weeks to make them to validate them so they earn their drill sergeant hat and badge. That's what I do for a living, right? As an infantryman. So I'm telling you, I've seen the reality of it, and the reality of it is we do not have a recruitment problem anymore. We have a overflow issue now.
That's
So
actually really good news, Trench. I'm glad you told us that. That makes us feel better.
I'm
Makes
not.
me feel a lot better
I,
inside of our Gen Zers.
Yes, I don't care about what you guys do. You guys can do college. You guys can do the private sector. Doesn't matter. I'm not promoting the army. That's not what I'm saying here. Just to be clear, I'm just letting you guys know as American citizens that are watching this. Have another drink. Go to the gym. Do whatever your hobby is. Just be a patriot, right? Just make sure you're being pro-American. If you're being pro-American and you're being a patriot, don't believe what the news says, right? About this whole that is like a 2021, 2020, 2021. Hey, we have a recruiting crisis issue. So
Sorry, guys. I'm messing with my phone right now because I had to put
we're
it on
good.
charge. I don't know what happened to my streaming availability, so we're phoning it.
Well,
Dude,
hey,
that's actually really good news, Trench. That's not
let me show for you. Let me show for you.
that's
Hey, there's 117 people in here right now. As I'm seeing on mine, everyone hit the like button if you're enjoying this conversation. 117 people hits the like button, helps out more than you know. Okay, sorry.
that's not charging.
I got a show for my buddy Outlaw. Okay, make sure you hit the like button if you're
Nope.
enjoying the stream.
All right, let's kick the topic on away from the conflicts and And let's see, when are we going to see laser guns? I don't know. Drones right now. I want to see drones for the next decade. All right. What else is on your mind, Trinchy? What do you got?
Good things. Honestly, super positive right now. Like both, just other than the election, which has got me, worried. I mean, we were talking a little offline about some drama that we don't really need to get into here in the gun world, but there's a lot of positive stuff going on in the kind of training and gun world. I'll promote some people that I barely know. Ben Stoger has been an awesome resource for the firearms community. If you guys don't know who he is, so there's a lot of positive stuff, positive changes happening with USPSA. There's a lot of stuff going on with T-Rex Arms, where they're releasing a better plate carrier that's geared towards civilian duty use. So civilians that want a really good but moderately priced plate carrier, I saw some news about that. I actually had it pulled up in case we wanted to discuss it. I don't know. I see a lot of good stuff going on with the gun world. Um, what else? One thing I was thinking about, and I think it's going to be a full length discussion when we get Risky Krisky um, in here as well, that we were talking about, is kind of how stale some of the gun YouTube stuff is. How a lot of the gun, like what used to be gun tube, was like, let's review this product. I'm going to shoot X gun and see how it does for 500 rounds. I think a lot of that in chat. Tell us if we're true. Tell us if I'm tell us if I'm being truthful. But I think the gun community is over the whole like review said Glock 19. Did it survive? Do I recommend? Like I think that stuff is all old news. I think now it's all about application,
I don't.
scenario based
I, I
training.
I don't know about that. So hold on. Let me go back over a few things right here real fast. So for one of you guys that posted in here, when my channel was at 20,000 people, Trench and I, we've been friends for a long time. We've done a lot of videos together. I think you could find them on his page, on our page. Oh, let's see, Mr. Smith. He's been commenting a lot. He says, "What do you think about foreign sales in our country that might pop off next week?" I don't think that you have to worry about anything popping off next week. My personal opinion that I share with a lot of people in my area is that if we, not Israel, if we attack Iran, we might see some dirty bomb stuff go off here. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. Crap, they might block us for that. Um, and let's see, there was another question that I wanted to. I'm just not letting Trench go in there because I don't know that he's allowed to talk about that. So we're just gonna bump off the top of that one. I don't think GunTube. So all right, GunTube. GunTube is tough. Right now, there's a lot of drama in the gun tube world. Quite personally, I think we should stay out of people's personal lives. I don't think that I don't think we should be in people's personal lives. I realize we put ourselves out here, but I think there's a lot of that, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, YouTubers aren't special. We don't have anything figured out. We're just normal people, dude. We're just normal people. We screw up probably more than you do. I probably mess more up in a day than all of you guys watching right now. So like that's not a thing for me. Let's see. When it comes to the gun tube stuff, I don't know. I don't know what people like. I have not been able to figure that out. Sometimes I do a video and it freaking goes like crazy, and sometimes I do a video and it's hardly watched. So I honestly don't know what it is that they're looking for. It's my personal belief that they're not as interested in learning how to use it. So I'm 44. When it came to us, like that James Yeager crowd, I didn't care about a gun. Just give me one and give me 20,000 rounds so I can freaking start shooting it and learn how to fight with it. I still shoot. I'm still probably at. I'm probably down from what I am, but I'm at least 15 to 20,000 rounds on purpose that are shot. Like I on per. I don't go out and just shoot stuff unless I'm doing something for YouTube or I'm trying to be funny. I go out and I fire around. I fire a course of fire, and I'm literally calling my hits and seeing where that is. So I just don't think. I just don't think that that's what YouTube right now wants to see, but I honestly don't know what they want to see. I haven't figured that out.
I mean, I don't think it. I don't care what YouTube wants to see, to be honest. I mean, anyone watching this or in the future that wants to check out my channel goes everything from tactics, okay, because I'm an infantryman, so I'll go over battle drills, things that'll keep you alive in like a WROL scenario. Everything from that to kit setup to night vision to freaking thermal to most of what I do is just stuff to help the average dude out, right? Whether it be through training, running drills on the flat range, high round count on guns. Okay, so like right now I'm doing a PSA Saber project to 10,000 rounds to see if the gun will freaking make it and be reliable and accurate, right? With a 20-inch barrel, that's what I'm interested in with an ACOG and an RMR.
How is it so far?
Good. It has an amazing trigger. The gun was $1,000. I put a $250 BCM. So I bought $1,000 Saber, 20-inch FN cold hammer forged chrome line barrel, rifle length gas system. I put it's got an A1 buttstock, has a Saber trigger, the Saber pistol grip. Everything's good on there. I put an ACOG with an RMR TA31 on top, and it has an A1 buttstock with a T-Rex arm sling and a Surefire light. It's my favorite gun right now. It's my favorite gun to shoot.
So I've been into the clones. I just finished a Sam R rifle. I don't know why I got to where I have a lot of guns. I don't know. If you go back, you can watch my gun deal right there, and that's about half of the guns that I have, I think. But I've got to where clones seem to be cooler. Um, or I'm going back to like what made me a gun guy as a kid. So like the Smith and Wesson 45 or 4506 from like Vic Mackey and Shield. You guys are probably too young for that. That kind of stuff was what I'm kind of collecting now. But I am trying to figure out what like I feel like I'm happy to educate. I like to educate. I think that ammo video I just did was education. I got a lot of that education from you. I remember when you told me when I called you about A1 and you were like, "Hey, our guns are how many MOA?"
Yeah. So the DoD is 2 to 4 MOA, right?
Yeah.
So
And what are the guns you see most of the time? 4 MOA?
depends, right? So the M855 Alpha 1 will make the barrel life basically around 7,000 rounds, right? So around 7,000 rounds or so, you need to replace the barrel. But you know, you can shoot the capability of the gun if you're shooting 2 MOA. It's a good day because we shoot at distance, right? We're not just shooting at 25 or 100. We're shooting out from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 600 meters, right? Rapid engagement. So a lot of what you're going to do for like your WROL, SHTF, whatever boogaloo scenario you have in your brain, minute of man is good. Minute of man is good. So 2 to 4 away is really good if you can have repeatable hits, right? You do your part, the gun does this part. So with a 14.5 inch barrel with an M855 Alpha 1 and an ACOG on top, dude, you're rocking and rolling to 600
Hey,
meters.
Ted, MOA is not red dots. MOA is minute of angle, and it's just a little over an inch. So just call it an inch at 100 yards. So at 200
MOA
yards,
is
it's
an
2 inches.
angular unit of measurement. It's
Yeah.
1/60th of a degree.
So a 2 MOA gun is going to hit 4 inches at 200 yards. You see what I'm saying? But
That's
no,
why we go through a lot of bolts. We go through, but it doesn't matter. It's free for us. But because we actually shoot the guns, right? Because we get paid to shoot the guns. But yeah, if
how
I
many
take,
how many how many rounds does it go on a bolt face for you?
I couldn't tell you 100%, but what I can tell you is I take 100 rifles out, I might see for a 2 week range density, I might see 3 bolts break for 100 rifles. But you got to think, it's not because we shot them for 2 weeks. It's because they've already been shot X amount of rounds before then. But yeah, the reason why the bolts break on the M4 with the M4A1 with a freaking M855 Alpha 1 is because the gun is trying to unlock faster than it can. So if my fingers are the bolt and it fires, it's trying to begin its rearward travel too quick before it unlocks and then begins its rearward travel. So it's shearing the lugs off of the bolt because it's just trying to move too quick. and it's too violent of an unlock because those rounds are loaded hot. So
Hey, so Mr. G. Smith, he posted this. We aren't doing engagements out beyond 100 yards until WROL is in full effect, or we're going to prison. Dude, this is an interesting topic for me. I think you're gonna enjoy this. So, I totally agreed with you up until I don't know, shoot, maybe it's a year ago now, but I totally agreed with you because you're not giving the other person a chance to stop what they're doing. Now, I changed my mind. There's a bunch of cops on video in Dallas where a pedestrian comes up and the cops are engaging with their handguns at a suspect that I believe is out of handgun range. And so in a situation like that, I think that that is where your rifle with a optic on it, not a red dot, an actual low power variable optic, allows you to stand back just a little bit and possibly into situations. So that's why I always, when people ask about situations, the answer is always it depends. Like so many things can happen or variables inside of a gunfight or a self defense situation that man I don't know. It depends. Like if they did this, I might do this. If they did it this way, I might do it the other way. So the one thing I'm learning is never say never, but don't be overboard. Like you might have a truck gun, but you don't need a laser on it. You don't need quads in the back. You don't need um, you know, uh, you don't need 30 magazines with you. I totally agree that's not going to happen unless there's a, WROL in effect. But the chances of you using your rifle are getting more and more possible as we move on.
yeah, saying when am I ever going to need my rifle past 100 meters tells me you're not trained. Point blank. Okay. Um,
No, 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 Trench. He's saying in
okay.
America right now.
I mean, even then, if you don't see the writing on the wall of why you might need a rifle for things past 100, like, dude, the whole world is past 100 meters. Go outside with Mill GPS app or whatever GPS app you want and see what's at 300 meters within line of sight. I guarantee you can see something where somebody could be outside your front door right now within 300 meters for most of you, right? So the whole
But full
world
full
is a,
disclosure, Trench is saying that that better be a very unique situation.
all right. We lost you there, Outlaw, for a second.
Sorry, I had somebody calling me.
You're good.
Uh, Full disclosure, Trench is saying if you're in America, it better be a very unique situation
You say for self defense.
for self defense, right?
Yeah,
Better be a
for a
very unique.
day to day self defense, your Glock 19 is all you need for
Yeah.
99% of life. I'm saying uh, we're not just talking. Okay, so and I think that's where a lot of guys are like so obsessed is like for self. What do I need a rifle for self defense and whatever? It's like okay, you have your Glock 19 for everyday carry. You might have a truck rifle that probably should have some magnification on it. We're not talking about just day to day self defense anymore, though, guys. We are graduating on in our training in our regimen, right? We need to be ready for the reality. The reality of the situation is cool. Most guys, most adults can buy a compact handgun, 15 plus one or 17 plus one rounds, can carry it for their whole life and never need anything else until the day the world changes. Then you need a rifle every day. So handguns suck. For anyone watching this that thinks their handgun is a good defensive tool, it's not. It's a compromise. Handguns are a compromise, okay? So if you are walking around every day and you're like, dude, my Glock, my 9 millimeter handgun or any caliber handgun is the best. It sucks. Okay. The world is a rifle world, right? It's a rifleman's world, not a handgunner's world. So get in the mentality that rifles are the thing that you're always trying to get to. Stop being so focused on just home defense or everyday carry. Everyday carry can be accomplished with a Glock 19 and an extra mag and a tourniquet. Good to go.
All right. Somebody asked what comms do we use? I don't know what Trench uses in his deal. We use Persistent Systems MPU5 dismount kits. Um, Man, they're super expensive. I don't know what retail is on them, $35,000, but that's what I use.
Honestly, for most civilians, or anybody, military, whatever. Because guess what? You're not gonna have your military stuff at home when the boogaloo starts. Having a simple, and everyone's gonna freak out, dude. But a Baofeng, something to call your buddy that lives a couple blocks away. It's not for being tracked by an enemy military that's gonna be tracking your location. That's not what I'm talking about. First of all, get a cheap walkie-talkie, or a Baofeng, something that you know how to use. That way, in a real emergency, even if it's not a gunfight, if it's any type of emergency, you have comms, right? So I'd rather have a whole team with a whole pack of double A's or triple A's, and they have a bunch of Baofengs. Well, guess what? Now we can at least communicate, because most people watching this are never going to go out and invest in comms. They're just going to get nothing, because they're going to hear some YouTubers say something like this: Balfang will get you killed if the enemy's tracking you. Yeah, if they're tracking you and trying to triangulate your position, sure. But what's going to happen is they're going to lose all that technology pretty quick in any sort of near peer fight, okay, where artillery is going back and forth, or any sort of guerrilla fight. They're going to lose those capabilities pretty quick. So your Balfang is going to go a long way. You don't believe me? Look at Afghanistan and Ukraine.
They used INOD, right? INOD. So I mean, yeah, putting that back into context there, your Baofeng could get you killed if you're on the flot of a near peer. If you're up against Russia or China and you're on the flot. But for everything else, you
Forward
learn
line
how
of
to talk,
troops. For those
learn code words, learn not how to say where you are, not your name, and I think it's fine. Yeah.
For those that don't know what FLOT is, it's forward line of troops. So within a couple kilometers, or on the front line, or within a couple of kilometers of the front line, yes, Tinder on your phone will get you killed. A phone, having a phone at all, an iPhone in your pocket, they're gonna hit you with a 120 millimeter mortar or FPV drone. But or if you have a Balfang, if you're fighting a near peer, yeah, you're dead. But guess what? Here in the United States, when it's a group of people that are walking down the road because you have food, you being able to initiate an ambush on them because you say, "Hey, engage," or whatever right now, and then your buddies in the wood line start lighting them up. That Balfang is going to be looking real nice.
Hey, somebody on here said, don't underestimate the usefulness of a good crossbow or bow. So I have a question for you guys in the comments. I have bows and I have a crossbow. It's a mission sub one. And at 100 yards, I can literally hold a 1 inch group with the thing. It's incredible. But and I don't know if maybe I'm using the wrong bolts or the wrong arrows. If I shoot one animal with it one time, it's that bolt is no good anymore. And so, or the same thing with the arrow. And now that you're worried about the carbon fiber like shattering whenever you shoot it, now I'm going off what other people have told me. I've shot a lot of stuff with them, shot a lot of stuff with my crossbow, a lot of stuff with a bow, and we just don't use those arrows anymore. So I don't. While I think that they're quiet and they're good, I don't know about and then finding the bolt or the arrow after you're done. But I might be missing something, so I would seriously like you to chime in on that one. Oh, I can't pull a bow anymore. Yeah, that sucks. Topic: favorite bourbon. Trench, what's your favorite bourbon?
Dude, I'm not a big. What do you think I'm about to hold up?
I what is it? Jack Daniels, shut the front
Well, it's
door.
not. It's not because of like, oh, it's fancy. It's because I'll just go buy a couple of these and put them on the shelf or whatever, right?
So
Okay,
I
favorite.
wish I could show you. I'd have to walk across the street to show you my bar. But I am Weller's 12 is probably my favorite. Then Eagle Rare, Blanton's, Buffalo Trace,
Yeah, I was
Basil
gonna say
Hayden.
Buffalo Trace is good. I was gonna say Buffalo Trace or Knob Creek if I'm like, for whatever reason, trying to do something. But dude, if I'm just trying to drink to chill, Jack Daniels is cheap and I can't tell the difference half the time anyway. So
I just don't. If I'm drinking to enjoy it now. I'm not drinking to.
get
But
lit.
yeah, I like Jack Daniels. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite bourbon is vodka. Ugh, Matt said that.
That's like my Germany days when I was just joining the army. Red Bull and vodka. So,
Yeah.
what is your plan? So, are you going to do like a watch party? Are you going to do anything special for this election? Or are you just going to hunker down and hope that Trump wins, basically?
So I thought about that, and I don't know. I thought about doing a James Yeager fashion where I live stream it from my house. I have my daughter has a deer hunt that same time, so if we tagged out, I would do it from my house. If not, I'm thinking about just throwing the election on and just watching it. So you want to do it? You want to just jump on there and just like not
I think
necessarily
it
a whole conversation, just where we can kind of hang out and talk about it.
I think it might be fun to do some sort of live where if we could figure it out where maybe we can both have commentary, maybe have some sort of other, we would have to have you have a more sophisticated editor. We'd have to have something where they can kind of see, we can pull up statistics or something that's going on. But I think it would be an interesting, uh, discussion. Maybe get a third dude in here to discuss as it's happening. But yeah, I don't know. It might be fun to watch and see the future of our lives unfold before our eyes. Because unfortunately, it sucks. But I think our lives could go one of two ways, right? Butterfly effect is about to happen here in a few days. So
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do a. You guys be back for the election. We'll figure it out with my editors, and we will try to make sure that we can live stream the election where we're not trying to just keep talking to you, but you can see reactions. We can talk back and forth. I think that's old fashioned James Yeager style. That'll be fun.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of guys watching and listening right now and in the future would tell you, and like I've seen on my channel, like I said, a lot of guys are using this as background noise and just to enjoy the conversation and to, hang out. A lot of guys watching this right now are just hanging out, right? Whether they're having a glass or at the gym or whatever they got going on. Maybe they're at work, time thefting from their boss, whatever they got going on. So, that's why I don't mind doing the lives and, saving them for the future because people just enjoy hanging out.
Yeah, I'm good with that. All right, guys, with that, my phone is dead. I have exactly 10% left, and we've been on here an hour. So, um, Trench, let's plan it for the election, and we'll do this again next week. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
100%. Guys, if you're seeing this and you want to go support what I got going on over on the Trench Grenade channel, come on over. Like I said, a lot of tactic stuff, a lot of stuff that you probably didn't know you needed to know because you probably didn't know what you didn't know. So come on over and hang out if you enjoyed it. And yeah, man, if you want to do the election thing, let's do it. We'll hang out and we'll try to get somebody else, another gun tuber in here to give their opinions and thoughts
Could
too.
that be Risky Krisky's first day back?
I'll text him right after this and see if Risky wants to be back because I know he wants to be back, but tonight he had a previous engagement because we made this decision pretty short notice, to be honest, like always. So did we lose him again? Chat. I think we may have lost Outlaw. I think we may be cooked. Well, guys, if you're still seeing this, I don't know if he has ended the chat or if his phone has died. But thanks for hanging out, guys. I look forward to seeing everybody on the November 6th live stream. And until next time, it's going to be Trench Grenade, your average last American Outlaw live stream enjoyer that your mom said we have at home signing out. Cheers.